I rhyme for my life, I rhyme for my pay, I rhyme for my people out here doing it every day. I rhyme for the raw heads, I rhyme to the beat, I rhyme for the ears that been keeping it to the street. I rhyme for my life, I rhyme for my pay, I rhyme for the people out here doing it every day. I rhyme for the raw heads, I rhyme to the beat, I rhyme for the ears that been keeping it to the street. The underground overlord coming to town, oh my god, raw heads, you know my squad, real shit, no facade.
Hey everybody, I'm Randy Silvas.
And I'm Tony Mollick.
Welcome back to Slotrods and welcome to the 2024 Father's Day Street Race.
Last year we had a Mother's Day race, and we called that one the Mother's Day Massacre. But some people thought that was a little bit dark, so we thought we'd call it something nice this year.
However, after viewing the footage of this race, we're going to call it what it really was.
The 2024 Father's Day Massacre.
No fathers or mothers were massacred during the filming of this show.
However, there were some slot rods that weren't so lucky.
Yeah, how about it?
This was, without a doubt, one solid quarter mile of some of the worst street we've ever raced on.
Well, it wasn't straight and it wasn't flat.
Man, that track was long. Take notice, you can't see the starting line from the finish line.
And that's a long way to race. Last time we were together, we raced 18 cars into position and left 2 open spots to be filled before the list race today.
And we have 7 cars that want to fill those 2 spots. So we're going to run them single elimination until we have 2 cars left.
And those 2 cars will race for 19th and 20th position.
We'll have Louise versus Nightwolf, T-Bucket versus Old Blue, Frankenberry versus Purplicious, and McMulloch drew the lucky bye.
First up, we got Nightwolf versus Louise.
Louise spins hard coming off the line, giving Nightwolf the win.
Up next, T-Bucket versus Old Blue.
And T-Bucket spins a gear on the starting line, giving Old Blue the win.
Up next, Frankenberry versus Purplicious.
And Purplicious jumps.
And Frankenberry just fishtails his way through the free pass.
Next we have McMullet versus Old Blue. Come on, let's see a clean race.
Ask and you shall receive. We finally got a drag race out of these 2 challengers.
McMullet pulled ahead at about the halfway point and gaps Old Blue for the win.
Which brings us to Frankenberry versus Nightwolf.
Camera 1 rolling.
Oh, and Frankenberry wasn't in the slot, and no electricity means no go.
And that means McMullet and Nightwolf racing for 19th and 20th.
McMullet got the jump. And McMullet hangs on for the win.
Dude, go back and watch them coming down the stretch in slow motion one more time. This was our first indication of things to come. McMullet's front end comes up off the ground, but he managed to slam back hard into the slot. Nightwolf goes 4 tires airborne, lands, regains control, and rides a wheelie through the finish line.
This is the most dangerous road we've ever raced on.
And that gives us a full list of 20 cars.
Now our usual first round of call-outs is pretty easy. It's automatic. From the bottom of the list to the top. Evens call out the odds.
Our first race is going to be a rematch of our last race. Number 20 calls out number 19.
Nightwolf versus McMullet.
Yep.
McMullen got the jump again. Nightwolf needs to be a little more mindful of that light.
And again, Nightwolf leaves the track but manages to bulldog it across the finish line.
And that means there's going to be no change to the list.
Now number 18 will call out number 17.
Deluxe versus Lil Demon. Lil Demon got out just a split second right before Deluxe.
And my little Dodge stretches out that Chevy for the win.
Again, leaving the list unchanged.
Now number 16 calls out number 15.
Unleashed versus Flamethrower.
Unleashed was first off the starting line and Flamethrowers seemed to hesitate.
Giving Unleashed the win.
And that's going to be our first change of the list for the night. Number 16, Unleashed, moves to number 15, pushing Flamethrower down the list to 16.
Up next, number 14 calls out number 13.
Copperhead versus Spearmint.
Spearmint's out first, but comes off the track before camera 2 and drives right off the cliff. On the official ledger, Copperhead moves to number 13.
And now number 12, Snakebite, calls out number 11, the Eliminator.
Snakebite gets the jump and he hangs on to that lead for the whole race, giving Snakebite the win.
That gives Snakebite the number 11 spot, and the Eliminator drops to number 12. Up next, Prince calls out the Lambo for the number 9 spot.
Prince got off to the early lead.
Oh, still ahead of camera 2.
And all you had to do was keep it in your own lane until the finish line.
But the track had ideas of its own, and that bump at the 800-foot mark again snatches defeat from the jaws of certain victory.
And my Lambo manages to hang on to that number 9 spot for another round.
Up next, number 8, the Spirit of 57, calls out number 7, the Olds.
Something happened to my 57. She lost power, and that lets the Olds hold on to his number 7 spot.
Up next, Moxie calls out Thunder Chicken for number 5.
Hoo-hoo! Moxie took off like a bullet.
And all I had to do was keep it in its own lane till the finish line, but I managed to cross center and piled it up in front of the catch bins.
Without a doubt, the most dangerous road we ever raced on. The cars just wouldn't stay in the slots.
Up next, number 4, 911, calls out number 3, Bob.
.911 got off the line first, and she drags Bob's ass down 1,300 feet of terrible road,
Giving 911 the number 3 spot.
which leaves number 2, Yucca, calling out Pink Lady for that number 1 spot.
And Pink Lady shows why she's number 1. She left that Corvette in her rearview mirror.
And the Hudson hangs on for the win. leaving Pink Lady her number 1 spot for another round.
And now McMullet will call out Deluxe for number 18.
Now that's a bouncy drag race.
And McMullet manages to bounce his way to another victory. Up next, Little Demon calls out Flamethrower for number 16.
And that race was all Mopar.
Man, that Mopar was all over the lane.
I do believe the expression was you bulldogged it across the finish line and you steamrolled your way into the number 16 spot.
And now Unleashed calls out Spearmint for that number 14 spot.
And Unleashed knocks the tires off and loses power. And all Spearmint has to do is keep it on the track and in his own lane to get the win.
Which should foreshadow how this ends.
Wow. So, who the hell won that?
Basically nobody. And those maniacs decided they were going to run down that hazard of a track one more time just to decide on a winner.
Yeah, I think I would have just conceded. Nah, that's a drag race.
Side by side of camera 2.
And they used every inch of that road to get down. But Spearmint hangs on for the win and stops the bleeding at number 14.
Copperhead calls out the Eliminator for number 12.
Copperhead off to the quick lead.
And Copperhead goes airborne at about the same spot everyone has, but glides smoothly across the finish line and takes the number 12 spot.
Number 11 Snakebite calls out Prince to try to make a move into the top 10.
Now that's another great drag race, but Snakebite takes the win, and it looked like it was all that Prince could do just to keep the car in the lane.
And Snakebite officially slithers his way into the top 10. Prince could have avoided dropping out of the top 10 if he'd have just beat Lambo, but he had to race down and it bit him in the butt.
And speaking of trying to get out of the way, number 9, the Lambo, is trying to get out of Snakebite's way by calling out Spirit of 57 for number 8. And Lambo ran like he was running away from something, and I think that something was Snakebite.
Yeah, sorry, Spirit. It's survival of the fittest.
This sets up the Spirit of 57 for an eventual showdown with Snakebite for number 9.
Next up, the Olds calls out Moxie for number 6. Moxie comes off strong. He was already ahead at camera 2.
Moxie makes it to the finish line first, and the Olds follow single file.
Yeah, I'm positive you're not supposed to do that.
Moxie hangs on to his number 6 spot and earns a chance to call up on the next round.
And who he will be calling out is whoever wins this race. Thunder Chicken is calling out Bob for number 4.
Rolling.
Thunder Chicken finally makes a good pass, and I'm pretty sure he got there first.
Watch Bob. That car almost wrecked 6 times, and he somehow managed to keep it on the road.
But Bob definitely crossed that center line, which gave the race to Thunder Chicken. But he survived around, getting him one step closer to getting that car home in one piece.
911 is calling out Yucca for the number 2 spot.
Oh, and Yucca jumps, giving the spot away to 911. 911 calls out Pink Lady for that number 1 spot. Pink Lady gets the jump, immediately taking a 4-car lead.
Oh, she came around me.
Porsche comes around on the big end, and Little Ellie Thompson becomes the new number 1 in 911.
And now for the final round. Number 20 calls out number 19. Night Wolf versus Deluxe.
Deluxe gets out first. And foils Night Wolf's plan to get out of that number 20 spot.
Up next, Flamethrower calls out McMullet for number 17.
McMullet's out first, and Flamethrower just could not close the gap, giving McMullet the number 17 spot and pushing Flamethrower to number 18.
Number 16, Lil Demon calls out Unleashed for the number 15 spot.
Run. 2-2. Rolling gear 3. Driver.
And Lil Demon just didn't have enough to cover Unleashed, keeping him at number 16.
Bringing us to Spearmint calling out the Eliminator for number 12. Not to be redundant, but that's a drag race. Oh shit, here we go again. Spearmint's loose. I guess Spearmint won that race?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Spearmint with the most expensive win of the evening. That moves him into the number 13 spot.
Man, that car has been through it tonight.
About as much as that guard around the electronic eye at the finish line. That thing's been working double overtime.
Up next, Copperhead calls out Prince for number 12.
And Prince is out by a mile, but comes off the track at the same spot in the left lane everyone has all night long.
And believe it or not, I was able to put Prince back together again, so he'll be able to run for the next race day.
Moving Copperhead to the number 11 spot, and Prince remains in freefall.
Up next, the Lambo calls out the Olds for number 7.
The Olds jumps, and that's a shame because they both ran a tough race. They had to fight to get across the finish line.
And now the race I've been waiting for. My Moxie is calling out Bob for the number 5 spot.
Moxie's the only drag car I've seen with fuzzy dice hanging from the rearview mirror.
Yep.
And Moxie takes it. Moxie takes it.
And Bob uses every driving technique in the book to muscle that GSX across the finish line.
And Moxie continues chasing Thunder Chicken up the list into the top 5.
Up next, the new number 2 Pink Lady calls out the new number 1 911 to try to get her spot back.
Either way, at the end of this day, the Kane Racing team will have one car in the top spot, and they'll be using one of their other cars in the number 2 spot as a gatekeeper.
The Hudson's out by a mile again.
And once again, the Porsche comes around on the big end for a wild and woolly finish. And retains that number 1 spot.
And now for our last race of the night, Thunder Chicken will attempt to take the number 3 spot away from Yucca.
Here we go again. And I guess we'll call that another victory for Mark.
Yeah, it's been a tough day at the office for Motown.
Well, he did keep that number 3 spot. And hey, we got a new number 1 in the Slot Rod universe. Little Ellie Thompson and her grandmother's Porsche becomes the youngest number 1 we've ever had by far.
And here is your new top 20.
And here's your new Street Class Top 10 for July 2024.
Well, that's all, folks. So until next time, I'm Tony Mollick,
And I'm Randy Silvas.
and you've been watching Slot Rods.
The answer is no, you ain't got a chance. She's out of your league, just let the girl dance. No creeping around though, you just get a glance. Don't try to swim game, yo, just let the girl dance. The answer is no, you ain't got a chance. She's out of your league, just let the girl dance. You can watch a soul blow from a distance, but give her some space, son, let the girl dance.
Now that's a drag race.